righty. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Councilmember O'Neill.
I'm here.
Councilmember Tran.
I'm here.
Councilmember Dovin.
Present.
Councilmember Klopfenstein.
Here.
Councilmember Kim Nguyen.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brightigam.
Here.
And Mayor Jones.
Here. May I ask Assistant City Manager Maria Stipe to do the invocation, followed by Councilmember Brightigam for the pledge.
Mayor, if everybody could please stand and prepare yourselves according to your faith. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your many blessings and ask that you would be with us tonight to empower us, refresh us, and enrich us so that we may seek to achieve the best solutions and outcomes for our community. Amen.
Please face the American flag, hand over heart, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, that takes us on to presentations. We do have a community spotlight tonight.
Our community spotlight tonight is in recognition of the Space Heroes from Walton Intermediate School for winning the NASA TechRise Student Challenge. And Ms. Stipe will read the community spotlight for us.
Thank you, Ms. Pomeroy. This evening, the Garden Grove City Council would like to recognize Walton Intermediate School's Space Heroes for winning the NASA TechRise Student Challenge. And so I'd like to ask the Space Heroes if you could please all come forward. I'm going to have you all stand right up here in the front, and I'll have you flip around and face the audience. And then we'll, after I read the community spotlight, we'll have some photographs with the council. Okay, the Space Heroes, led by advanced physical science teacher Chris Barato, went up against teams across the country in the NASA TechRise Student Challenge and came out victorious as the only intermediate school in California to win. The NASA TechRise Student Challenge is a national STEM competition for 6th through 12th graders that offers students invaluable hands-on STEM experience and is designed to attract, engage, and prepare future STEM professionals. This year's NASA TechRise Student Challenge was to design a science or technology experiment that could be tested on a NASA-sponsored high-altitude balloon flight. Using their creativity, the Space Heroes developed a mineral dust investigation to further understand the effects of dust particles in the atmosphere and their impact on the environment and global warming. We are so proud of these students for their hours of dedication to scientific discovery that led them to this wonderful accomplishment, said Garden Grove Board of Education trustee Lan Nguyen. This is an amazing learning opportunity that they will remember for the rest of their lives. Currently, the Space Heroes have been hard at work soldering wires, coding, and finalizing their experiment, which will be sent 70,000 feet up into the atmosphere later this summer. At this time, the Mayor and City Council would like to present the Space Heroes with certificates in recognition of their NASA TechRise Student Challenge win. Congratulations, and keep on shooting for the stars. We wish all of them the very best in their future endeavors.
Okay.
There we go. I like the name of it. Sweet Heroes. That's pretty cool. Right between, yeah, there you go.
Can we layer? Can we have 2 rows in the front?
There we go. Yeah, we're too old.
Got 3 rows going here.
Very good. All right. There's no lack of cameras.
Right side up, not upside down. Congratulations.
Not upside down.
Cheese. Around here, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Is this dust anything like Dixie Dax?
Oh, still got one in the back taken?
All
All right.
right.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay, more to come. More to come, guys. We won't take too long. My name is Abby Sterone, principal at Walton Intermediate, and I just want to officially thank our council members for recognizing the hard work of our space heroes and my wonderful teacher, don't go anywhere, Miss Chris Barado, who really made this happen. And of course, our parents behind us, who have continuously supported all our endeavors, late pickups after school. And I know that I recognize the intellectual growth that my students have been able to kind of endure the past few months, really. But more so, I think we learned more about their character, their ability to pursue things, work through some tough challenges. And of course, if you ever work with lots of 12 and 13-year-olds, being able to manage different personalities and different learning styles. So I definitely want to pass on and recognize my science teacher here, Ms. Chris Barado, for really inspiring our students and continuing to lead them to more additional collaborative work. So, it's Barado.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Mrs. Barado, and I am their science teacher and also the team lead of this project. On behalf of our NASA Tech Rise team, we would like to thank Garden Grove City Council for this honorable recognition. I had the privilege to work with these amazing group of students these past several months. And when I first proposed this contest to my 8th grade students, they were dedicated from the start. They worked hard to put together their initial experiment proposal. Fast forward in January when they heard the news that their project, called the Mineral Dust Investigation, was chosen as a winner. Since that day, these students have been working incredibly hard to engineer their project using microsensors that detect temperature, thermal energy, and air quality. They learned how to solder wires, and yes, they were soldering in my classroom. Create wiring diagrams, blueprints, build a prototype, and code these sensors to work, as it will travel 70,000 feet into the atmosphere. It has been fruitful watching these students learn so many new things through this experience. I am beyond proud of their hard work, dedication, and tenacity as they work through challenging obstacles. Thank you for choosing to recognize our NASA Tech Rise team for this community spotlight. Thank you.
And to the parents, your children have become NASA-recognized rocket scientists. You must have done something right. Thank you for being here. And we'll actually give you a few minutes if you guys care to clear out, because after this, we're going to fill potholes and do other fun stuff like that. So please. Oh, please go ahead. I think before you do, I think.
Okay, yeah, thank you. First, I want to say congratulations. So I work for the Department of Defense, and we always looking for the talented, young, and smart people like you guys. Earlier, I was thinking, well, if you need some connection, I could try to get you guys to do internship. But you know what? You don't need that. They're gonna have to come and look for you guys. So whenever you have question or want something more, please let me know. I would love to make that connection. Thank you.
Thank you so
yes.
much.
If I can say a word also, I'm so very, very honored to be in your presence, and you're very proud of our achievers here, and I want to add to the theme of Garden Grove, which our mayor has really started, which adds to the magic of Garden Grove. It's a very magical place, and I see the spark of genius in all your faces, and I really want you to keep that spark alive, always. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Where'd everybody go? Alrighty, we'll now roll into oral communications. I do have several cards, starting with Ruby Garcia.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and City staff. My name is Ruby Garcia, CEO and founder of the Andy and Aiden Safety Group. Here to invite you to a fundraising event on 6/22 all day at 9999 Restaurant. On this date, the restaurant will give our nonprofit 10% of any food purchased, including beverages. They have such great food, and some of the prices are great. They start at $9.99. I invite you all to this fundraiser, and we should have a flyer hopefully by the next city council meeting. As you guys know, nonprofit is hard, and funds sometimes are harder. So any little bit goes a long way for our community. You know, luckily we live in such a great city where everybody just jumps in and help where they can. So we look forward to seeing you guys, and the address is 10742 Westminster Avenue, Garden Grove, 92843 on 6/22 all day. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicholas Dibbs. Okay, let me get to the papers here.
Mayor Jones and members of the council, it's nice to be up here without the plastic. So thank you. I also want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having inaugurated the college graduates reception coming up on May 23rd. And the deadline for recent college graduates who live in Garden Grove is this Friday. So be sure to RSVP if you're a college graduate or know somebody who is, so that they can attend for free and get recognized at the upcoming college graduates reception. As a teacher and an educator, I'm pleased to be one of the co-sponsors at the associate level since 2017. And every year it's such a pleasure to be there and to be part of the recognition of our wonderful graduates who graduate from college. Yes, there is some magic here in Garden Grove, and magic for positive change and for good things, and that's why we're here. And so I've spoken out in the past about things that the city can do to help bring much needed positive change. And I will digress a little bit and say that it's important that our graduates, whether they're in high school, graduating from high school or college, that they do their best to devote their talents and experiences and education to helping make the world a better place. Each of us have about 80,000 work hours during our career, and 40 hours a week times 50 weeks a year times 40 years. And so I ask our graduates to please devote your talents and abilities and your precious lifetime of 80,000 work hours working in a career to help achieve much needed positive change, because it is the right thing for each of us and all of us to do. This means working to achieve a better future by helping others, your community, city, nation, and the world to be better than you found it. This also means putting people's welfare and the greater good of individuals and humanity ahead of greed, corruption, and unfair and unethical results and outcomes. So, in closing, I just want to add, and I don't know how much time I have left because the screen's black, but is that the bell there to, is that a time? Anyway, seconds, okay, thank you. In closing, it's you know, the title of this letter, which I give each year to graduates, is Blessed Are the Peacemakers, from Matthew 5, verse 9. Success, as I prefer defining it, is devoting and utilizing your career talents and abilities, helping others and oneself achieve much needed positive change for a better future nation and world. I call on the graduates and all of us to read Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Beyond Vietnam speech, 7 pages that he gave a year to the day before he was assassinated.
Thank you.
So read that speech. It's very important. We need to do what we can to stop wars and prevent them from happening. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Anna Parker.
Good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm here to finish my last one. 3 minutes was not enough. So we have been going through a construction next door with a crooked property line for 60 years. We have been using that easement. Now we cannot. And it has been very hard, some tremendous physical, emotional, mental, and financial damage. And all this could have been avoided with a prompt response. Now there's not enough setback left for a wall. And now neighbors realize that could have been easily resolved. Only would take a little consideration to neighbors that are willing to pay for an easement and work on a solution that would harm no one. Waiting a little more time for one last and important solution, not bother and not be bothered by neighbors that have been there for more than half a decade. And we came to the city before they started building, and we showed that. And next time this happens, please let the city come and look, because all it would take was look, hey, this easement is not being used properly. And one of 2 people signed that, and they could say, hey, let's wait, let's resolve, because now we are having a difficult time with neighbors. We want to build a wall. They refuse to. The wall is on our property because we did that in consideration for the next door neighbor, and there are 10 people walking by our windows at all times, and it's very stressful. So when we ask for some help, please listen to us, because it has been very hard. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Alejandro?
Good evening, Mayor Brightman and City Council members. I am a union carpenter. You guys are familiar with us, I'm sure, and all you guys' campaigns. You know, we're big supporters of all you, and you guys are big supporters of us. And you know, we appreciate everything you guys done for us. But there's one thing is parking in District 3. I believe you know, it's real hard for us to park everywhere. Excuse me, I'm losing my spot in my speech. You know, being a you know, we fight for a lot of things. I work actually right here at the high school. You know, I'm building foundations for their new classes, making their campus a lot safer to walk through, redoing the sidewalks and everything. And excuse me. And the one thing about District 3, specifically on Allwood, is the parking is so bad that I got to park like way around the corner. And I don't know if the thieves already recognize my car, but it's already been broken into. And they already know that there's thousands of dollars in tools in there. So I've lost thousands of dollars of tools. So parking up the street is not an option. And if you drive through Allwood, you'll see that there's cars stacked, and it's not even enough. This is just like this year's worth of tickets. You know, it's a lot. And I'm not the only one. There's at least 10, 20 other people there, you know, going through this. You know, some people get off late and there's no parking. You know, a lot of them are young women. They can't walk 2 blocks down at night through that neighborhood. You know, I got to walk. My mom, she's a 70-year-old lady, and she gets off work at 4 in the morning. So when I get up, I got to go walk her from her car back to home. Sometimes I risk being a little late, but thank God, you know, I work up the street. So that's taken care of. But if I work far, that's out of the question, and she's got to walk back home by herself. I've surveyed the sidewalk on Allwood, and it would only take one side if we move 1,200 feet of sidewalk over, it would 6 feet. It would give us roughly instead of what was it? Instead of the typical 30 parking spots there is right now, if we were to make diagonal parking spots on one side of the road, it would give us about 133 parking spots. So over 100 more parking spots, I think it would be sufficient for that neighborhood. The neighborhood was developed in the 1950s when it was all single-family homes. It's a lot different now. You got about like 1 or 2 families in each home there now. You know, all you gotta do is drive by there in the middle of the night, and you'll see everybody parked in the corners, in red zones, double parked. You know, and the police, they just come and hand out tickets. They don't care that we're all hardworking people in the neighborhood. So I'm just asking if there's something you can do, maybe some kind of solution. I've already surveyed and estimated what we spend on tickets. You guys could pay for that project, and you know, and we just want some kind of support. You know, I've done you guys have done a lot for us, and we just want something. And I'm gonna close my speech out with that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'm going to pass your card along, by the way, so that our engineering and possibly even traffic commission or whatever they decide can take a look into that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Could you tell me what street that is?
Gilbert and Allwood. Gilbert and Allwood.
Gilbert and Allwood.
Yeah, sort of between Gilbert and Brookhurst.
Yes, that whole area. Right. And the whole down Gilbert, they need sidewalks too, around the corner. Thank you guys so much. Oh, and I love this community. I grew up in Riverside, and this community is way better. Right next to all the freeways. I've lived here 3 years now, and I'm not moving back anytime soon. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, brother. Okay, anyone else wishing to speak on any items not listed on the agenda? That's all the cards I have. Okay, we will close oral communications. Next, we will recess to the successor agency. I'll call to order the successor agency. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Member Breitigam.
Here.
Member Tran.
Here.
Member Dovin.
Present.
Member Klopfenstein.
Here.
Member Nguyen.
Here.
Vice Chair O'Neill.
Here.
And Chair Jones.
Here. Okay, we already did oral communications. Takes us on to consent items. Just receive and file of the minutes. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Call the vote.
Sorry, I'm a little behind. Motion received, 7 yes votes.
No other items listed. Any matters from agency members? If not, we will adjourn back to City Council. And so we'll reconvene City Council. That takes us to consent items. Recommended that 3A through 3E be acted on simultaneously unless anyone would like to pull an item.
Move it. Second.
Call the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Next is item 4A, Commission Committee Matters. This is acceptance of resignations of Daisy Perez and Matthew Montano from the Planning Commission.
I move to accept the resignations.
Call to vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Side note, I'd like to ask all of our colleagues to please give me feedback on those 2 seats so that we can get those appointed expeditiously.
They'll be opening that up though, right?
Yes, we will be opening it up to the public, so we should probably allow some time period, but the sooner the better because there's 2 of them gone, so we only have 5 seated right now. Items for consideration, we have several of them, so 5A.
Item 5A is approval of an agreement with the Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Community Project Funding Grant Program, and Ms. Pelayo from Community Services is here to give that report.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Staff would like to request that the City Council approve a grant agreement with the Department of Housing and Urban Development to receive a $1 million grant from the Community Project Funding Grant Program that will be utilized for park improvements at 3 city parks. These park improvements are part of the 5-year capital improvement plan and priorities outlined in the 15-year Parks and Facilities Master Plan. The 3 city parks include Jardín de los Niños Park, located at 12534 Kill Avenue in the Buena Clinton neighborhood. Improvements include replacement of the current park playground equipment and playground surface. Hastur Basin Park, located at 12952 Lamson Avenue. Improvements include replacement of the current park playground equipment and playground surface that is located on the city property portion of the park. Additionally, the park restrooms adjacent to this playground area will be demolished and replaced with prefabricated structures that will have 2 restroom stalls. The third park is West Haven Park, located at 12252 West Street. Improvements include replacement of the current park restrooms with a new prefab building that will have 4 restroom stalls. There will be no financial impact to the city's general fund. In addition to the CPF grant in the amount of $1 million, there is an additional $1 million in citywide park fees budgeted in the 5-year capital improvement plan to complete all improvements of the 3 city parks. It is recommended that the City Council approve the grant agreement with HUD to receive $1 million in the Community Project Funding Grant and authorize the city manager or designee to sign the grant agreement, including making any minor modifications as needed. That concludes staff's report, and I'm available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Any questions? Motion?
I'll second.
Call to vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
5B.
Item 5B is approval of amendment number 3 to the agreement with Southern Counties Oil Company to provide fuel and fuel management for city vehicles. And Mr. Murray is here to give that report.
Thank you, Ms. Pomeroy, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Tonight, City Council is being asked to approve amendment number 3 to the existing contract with Southern Counties Oil Company, that's SC Fuels, to provide fuel and fuel management for city vehicles. The amendment will extend the contract for 1 year at a cost of $1 million. This is scheduled to be the last amendment allowed under the existing contract. Should the funding be exhausted, staff will need to rebid the contract and return to council to authorize further expenditures. The Public Works Department is responsible for providing about 275,000 gallons of fuel a year for all of our city vehicles. The cost for the amendment will be included in next year's fiscal budget. This concludes staff's report, and I'm available should you have any questions.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions?
Mayor? Not a question, just a comment. I think it's awesome that staff has been able to lock in. I mean, we all know what gas is going for, and this is coming to $3.63 a gallon. I mean, that's. Oh, did you do it? Yeah, 3.60. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I think you're saving our taxpayers a lot of money here. So kudos to staff on securing this again for another year. And with that, I'll make a motion.
Okay, call the vote.
Can I get my gas there?
I can't even get gas there.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thanks, Bill. 5C.
5C is award a contract to West Yost Company for professional engineering services for the City of Garden Grove Chapman and Dale Water Improvement Project number CP 136-1000. And again, Mr. Murray will give that report.
Thank you, Ms. Pomeroy. Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Tonight, council is being asked to award a contract for the civil engineering design of the Chapman and Dale Water Improvement Project, and that's going to go to West Yost. This water project was identified in the city's 2020 master plan and will replace approximately 9,500 feet of older 6-inch ACP, which is asbestos cement pipe. And it'll be replaced with new 8-inch PVC or polyethylene vinyl pipe. And we'll also be replacing 13 fire hydrants, over 200 new water services, which is the lateral that goes from the main to your house. And it includes 3 tie-ins to the existing water system in 3 locations. So staff set out 4 requests for proposal, RFPs, and received 3 responses. Staff reviewed and rated the proposal and determined West Yost the most qualified proposer and would provide the most qualified service to the city. The negotiated professional service agreement is for just under $300,000 and is included in the water capital improvement plan, and we will use water funds for the design. Should the council decide to award the contract this evening, staff can begin the design by June of this year. I expect that they'll be complete by the end of the year. This concludes staff's report. Thank you, and I'm available if you have any questions.
Thanks, Bill. Any questions?
I'll move it.
Call the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Alrighty, takes us on to matters none listed, so we'll go around the horn. George.
For me tonight.
Beautiful.
Done here.
Yes, sir. So last week I got to represent our city to attend the SCAC meeting, and it was just amazing. Just feel so honored to represent our city. And so when I go there, it was my first time. I didn't know much, but my goal was just talking to people and looking around to see if we could find some funds, some grant for our city. And majority of that, our staff already know. I talked to Ms. Lisa, the city manager. She already aware of that, but I want to bring up two additional ones that when I walk around outside to different booths, and I talked to the people there just to see where else we could get the money. The first one is for Verizon. They actually have a program that for any business that you could apply for $10,000, and that's the grant. Anyone can apply. All you have to do is just sign up and take 2 classes that will help with your whatever the business that you are doing, and they kind of ask you a question and guide you to that. This one, I actually prefer one of the business owner last year, and they received the money. So I brought it up here, so hopefully the people, from our city hear about that, apply, and, 10,000 will help at least something. And then the second one was, I talked to the Southern California Edison. They did mention a couple of things that maybe, because I was looking for, what other thing that our city could apply and get. And so all the time I've been talking about getting money for to upgrade our Garden Grove Park, and just talking around, they were saying that we could apply for example, transportation to upgrade, like to get the walking part and like different area. And I think that I just pass that information back to our staff, and they will look into that. I already have a talk with Ms. Lisa, and we will have further discussion. But another thing that kind of relates to the field that we're talking about earlier, they have grant that will help people, help different agencies to get electric car or things like that. So that will help us. But additional money just so that we could buy up to night car with electric rather than using gas. So basically that was it. But before I end, I just want to ask my observation. Today we see everything we went through really quick, right? But just so that people out there that before we have this meeting, we normally have the preview the agenda with the staff. And I just want to say thank to Maria. There was so many times that I look at the information and I want to ask, more. Okay, what is it? The detail that I didn't know. And for today's meeting, there were additional costs for fixing the HVAC for the gym and additional costs for maintenance. But I reached out to Maria and Lisa. They were able to provide the contract, and we looked into that. And I just want to make sure how can we control the cost so that way we don't have the same additional cost in the near future. And they were able to provide me the information. So thank you.
Joe?
Yes, I just want to have one announcement, and it's related to a show that I hosted with the Director of Community Action Partnership of Orange County. And I learned from that interview that we have more than $3 million in grant money available for utility assistance, especially to Orange County residents who qualify. I want to give out the address and phone number of the Community Action Partnership of Orange County. It's been in our city for over 60 years as part of the War on Poverty started by President Lyndon B. Johnson. The address is 11870 Monarch Street in Garden Grove, and the phone number is 714-897-6670, and they have bilingual staff, Vietnamese speakers, Hispanic language speakers, Korean, Chinese, and whatever language service you may need. You can ask for an online interpreter when you're there, and they are taking applications for people who would qualify. You can get up to $3,000 in utility assistance, and they also have a weatherization program where they'll retrofit your house for energy efficiency up to $15,000, and other utility bills such as water. They have grants, and you can go there and apply directly or call for an appointment. The deadline for that application this year is September 30 for the assistance with the water bill. So I know that some of our residents have been freaking out with your utility bills and seeing that red tag on your front door for your water bill. And you now have a place to go for help. That's the Community Action Partnership of Orange County, address of which I just read. You can find them on the website. And please do go there and get the assistance. And every year you can apply at least once. You can apply once a year for the utility assistance. And they have more than $3 million left of grant that they want to dispense. And they already helped over 1,000 families already. And they can help a couple thousand more families. So please get to the Community Action Partnership of Orange County. They're a great resource for us here in Garden Grove and Orange County. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie? Thanks, Kim. Nothing. General Counsel, anything to report out or any need for closed session hereafter?
Yes, Mayor, we did have a closed session earlier today, but there is no reportable action. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager Lisa Kim.
No items, Mayor.
Awesome. Thank you. And with that, we will stand adjourned for the evening. Have a great night, everyone.
2 minutes. Is that a record? 2 minutes. 7:13.